like a dog in the street.
Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
All right, it's Wednesday, and that means Write That Down predictions, the only show in America that has the grapefruits enough, the stones enough to admit when we're wrong and track it statistically here. We also do it on the OG podcast, Mackie and Judd, the OG edition of Write That Down. So, but before we do anything else, before we get to predictions, accountability session, a quarterback cesspool challenge, let's start off at Quick Trip here on this Wednesday, boys.
That's a fantastic idea. Let's pull that car into the lot. In fact, you know what? With a quality gasoline guarantee, forget about that. Let's pull that car up to that gas tank. Let's fill up the tank. Let's go inside. And if you're watching this right now, you are seeing all the options. And you're like, Sports Dad, you are still telling me this is a Quick Trip? It's not a grocery store? And I am telling you that is exactly right. Options, breakfast, lunch, dinner, anything, a snack that you might want. Quick Trip has all of the answers, because Quick Trip is not only fantastic as far as what it offers, but also the service. You get friendly people behind the counter. That's right. Nobody in the back room who has to run out and ring you up. Quick Trip, they are true professionals. So check them out. You will be very glad that you did. It's life-changing as far as where you're going to stop, because you're going to stop at Quick Trip.
Could be. Another life-changing place could be while you're out running errands is just stop into North American Banking Company, which is Minnesota-based since 1998. They have 6 locations in the Twin Cities. And you can have a face-to-face relationship with your bank. It's great. I actually stopped into one of the branches last week, and I sat down, and they helped me with a couple things. I didn't have to sit on the phone hitting 1 for this, 4 for this, 9.5 hours later, you're running in circles. People and relationships and safety and security of your accounts, those are the things that you can count on with North American Banking Company and more, whether it's something big, something small. Whatever your banking needs are, go to nabankco.com/Mackie to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We appreciate them for powering.
Write this down.
Write that down here. Gentlemen, are we ready to be held accountable?
Every Wednesday. If we're not prepared.
Let's start with Judd. Well, actually, I skip a step almost every time because I forget that not everyone is as immersed in this week to week as we are. So if you are new to the podcast or you just want a refresher, here's how Write That Down works every week. It's 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody on the show and a guest listener predictor. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of completion percentage, and a touchdown is classified as something that would be, if it has like a 25% or less chance of hitting, and sometimes that's extremely subjective, and we have to make a decision by committee, it would be deemed a touchdown. And if you want to be like Joel and make a guest listener appearance and make predictions, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app, and we'll get you scheduled. Now let's start with Judd. 2 things came off the board. You said the Vikings would have 30 or more rushing attempts against the Bears. 22.
Yeah, not where I wanted it, but better than it was. So
very effective 22 rushing attempts too.
It could have been more.
But then you said that the Vikings offense would rein in those false start issues, and they'd be called for no more than 2 false starts against the Bears. So they at least reined in that problem. Got that going for us at least. Mm-hmm. All right, I had 3 things come off the board. I said the Packers would lose to the Giants.
Close.
I was really excited about that one when they were, I think, losing in the second half. I said JJ McCarthy would finally complete a pass on 3rd or 4th and short, 3 yards or less against the Bears. They tried a couple. Incomplete. So he is now, I think it's 16 called passes this season for JJ McCarthy on 3rd and short, 4th and short. 0 completions. But, I mean, at some point, you got to complete a pass. But, like, what are we doing? Run the ball.
All I know is that the head coach on KFXN yesterday addressed that and said, you guys all want this, but there's 7 guys up front. Okay?
Yeah, so let's unpack some of that real quick here before we continue. Because there was he talked about a lot of stuff on KFXN radio yesterday. He talked about wanting some of the thing. It's almost like he's I mean, he's pretty clearly telling people with that cementing comment too, right? That, hey, we've been hammering mechanics into his brain for a year and a half, and we need some of the wet concrete to cement itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I get it. I think we're all kind of waiting for that. But what did he say about the short yardage?
So he said that they're not going to have McCarthy run. His point was, if we're going to run on that down with 7 guys up front in the box, where it would probably have to be in his mind. I should explain this. This is not through me, through him. In his mind, McCarthy could run, but they don't want him to run a ton because they want him to actually play quarterback. But he's basically saying, otherwise, we're doing the smartest thing, which is passing the ball because they are loading up front.
So defenses are loading up front, and you're passing because the numbers count is in your favor to pass.
I love your angst.
And you have not completed a pass in 16 called passes.
I love your angst.
Who's winning the real chess match here, Kevin?
I love it.
It's ridiculous. By the way, Andy Reid on a podcast. What podcast was that yesterday?
I saw it. Yeah.
He kind of threw Patrick Mahomes under the bus and said, "Yeah, well, in today's day and age, some of those called runs get turned into passes at the line of scrimmage because, there's a safety down in the box, and so every time that happens, we have to." It's like, dude, don't overcomplicate this. Hand the ball off. The first 3rd and short they had, handoff. I think it was Jordan Mason, 4 yards, first down.
Yeah,
easy. Move the chains.
Yep.
And it is legal, by the way, to block enough to gain 3 yards, even if you have a numbers disadvantage along the offensive line. But I digress. I said the Vikings would rush and convert a first down on 3rd or 4th and short against the Bears. They did on their first one, and then they never went back to it I think it was only 2 more after that.
But you got the point.
That's right.
So, I mean,
let me call plays.
It's all about the point.
Listeners, Aaron said the Vikings kickoff team would either have a turnover or a penalty in the first quarter against the Bears. I don't think that happened. Tanner said
in the first quarter. They did have a penalty at one point. The special teams did, but not in the first quarter.
Wasn't the first quarter. Okay. If we're wrong, Aaron, let us know. We'll correct it on a future episode. Tanner said the Vikings will beat the Bears as part of a parlay that also included McCarthy will beat Caleb in passing yards, rushing yards, and completion percentage. John said the Vikings would win at least 12 games, would win the North by week 15. Well, mathematically, that's not possible. And clinch the number 1 seed. And then Alex said Shedeur Sanders would play in at least 1 game this season. His name will pop up in the quarterback cesspool challenge.
I was going to say, he might be starting on Sunday, right? If Dylan Gabriel's not cleared.
Right now, yeah.
Woohoo. Okay.
And then, Dex, welcome back. You're going to get
baby.
slapped upside the head with 3 incorrect predictions here. Mm-hmm. A little rusty. You said the Vikings defense records a pick 6 or a scoop and score against the Bears. McCarthy would lead multiple touchdown drives in the 2nd and 3rd quarter. And the Vikings will run the ball with 2 yards or less to go or goal to go at least 3 times. Now, it was only once. In fairness, they didn't have many opportunities, even like 2nd and short. I don't think they had any. No, they had like 1 2nd and 2, but they just weren't in that situation very much on Sunday. So, and then AJ had nothing come off the board. So here are the updated season stats. The season runs from Super Bowl to Super Bowl. I'm at 43.5% completions. Judd, 36.7. Listeners, 35.7. Dex, 32.5. AJ, 33.3. I lead the touchdown category as well with 10. Judd with 9. Dex has 8. Listeners, 7. AJ with 4. And then career stats, Declan atop the completion percentage pile, 36.3%. And then listeners and myself tied with 67 career touchdowns. So, yeah. All right. Should we get our guy in here?
Let's do it.
Joel making his return to write that down. A St. Cloud man, just like our guy Declan. What's up, Joel?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Well, I mean, we're doing well, I think, like generally, but from a Viking standpoint,
Yeah.
things could be better.
Joel, the concrete's not dry yet, so I can't decide on my day. Like when the concrete dries, get back to me. Probably around 1 o'clock.
Judd, as you pointed out, we heard that a lot in the early Target Field days. That hey, like once that concrete dries,
ball's gonna fly,
it's
and
gonna
it
become
did.
a hitter. It did,
and it did. We got the bomber squad.
100%. So, I mean, Joel, we'll turn it back around to you. How are you doing, and what are your thoughts on this current Vikings team?
Definitely some work to do. I think that, as you guys have alluded to, Kevin O'Connell's not doing the greatest job at mentoring McCarthy and setting him up for success. Although I will say this past Sunday was a lot better than some other ones have been. McCarthy just couldn't hit anything, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
I think the concrete drying comment that O'Connell made, I think, is another sort of at least a sign of his frustration.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly saying, "Hey, we've been in the shop working on this car for a long time." So I found that to be one of the it's not the first time, but it's one of the first times that O'Connell's basically trying to distance himself from the fact that McCarthy's not developing and saying, "I've given him all the tools. You guys know I'm the whisperer." So it was a very interesting comment to me.
That's how I was wondering if I took it wrong, but it sounds like you took it the same way. That just did a little bit of distance between the guru and the whisperer and his work and his ego, and then what we're seeing with some of the incompletions. Of course, what he looked like at the end of the fourth quarter, and shameless plug for the Trenches with Boone episode, we decided there's plenty of places right now, and we've been shredding Kevin's play calling, and we've been fair on McCarthy's mechanics, but let's look at the final drive, the what should have been a game-winning drive. There was with protections with McCarthy. McCarthy stood in there and he knew he was going to get blown up on two of those plays. Stood in there, took huge hits on the money. And so how do you replicate the way he's been playing in some of these gotta-have-it moments or the more scripted moments in some of the other games and get that to be more of the norm for 80% of his throws?
My issue with that, too, though, is I only harken back to this because of the parallel, not because they're the same player at all. You guys remember how O'Connell sort of he played it off well because it was going to be short term. But I always felt that there was a point where O'Connell got really frustrated after Josh Dobbs had been here for a few weeks, that he really couldn't execute O'Connell's game plan. Like he was just, Dobbs at his best flew by the seat of his pants, right? And I think that last drive was a perfect example of, okay, we got to play football here. It's hurry up. We don't have time for you to think about what I want, which is, by the way, like a Picasso-laden work of art of offense. So, we got to play football here. It's go time. And all of a sudden, McCarthy's fine. Well, because I think it was the Saints game that Dobbs played. I think it was. I remember vividly, he ran for a touchdown on a play where he was clearly supposed to throw. And I looked down, and at the time, O'Connell just had this mischievous grin, but he was also shaking his head okay, I guess that's how we scored. But you could tell it wasn't the execution.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was very clear he was not miffed, but what's the word? Bemused. Well, I think this is the McCarthy thing now, but this is the long-term thing. I think they got to pull back on some stuff, just flat out. He's thinking so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one last thing, and then we'll throw it to Joel for first prediction here. But what you notice on that last drive, and I recommend, again, Boone does a great job taking us through the whole thing. The protections were great. The offensive line, largely awesome in that game. It was quick completions, ball out, ball out, ball out, in part because you're up against the 2-minute drill with the game on the line. But couldn't you take some of those principles? Hey, man, I know we got a bunch of stuff we could dial up where they're longer developing, but what if you went into the game, even if you aren't playing up tempo against the clock, but if you're thinking when the ball is snapped is quick, out. If you have to get to a check down quicker and there was something left on the table, who cares? It's a completion. 6 yards, 10 yards, right? So anyways, Joel, are you ready to make some predictions here?
For sure.
Okay, you're first out of the gate, and then we'll go around the room. Judd, over to Dex, and then I'll round it out.
Write this down.
So Joel, welcome back. What's your first prediction?
All right, I'm actually going to loop back to the JJ McCarthy bin here. You're just talking about him a little bit. Write this one down. JJ McCarthy will throw no interceptions on Sunday in Green Bay.
Sniped.
Oh, wow.
Sniped.
you're
A couple of St. Cloud grads here just
the
in
protege.
cahoots.
The protege took it.
Wow.
The mentor just got
Wow,
sniped.
I love it, man. Okay, I think that'd be a pretty big win if that because the Vikings turnover margin is the driving reason for their record. They're like a -9 or something after being a +12 last year. So
Write this down.
all right, Judd.
Since we were just talking about it, write this down. The Vikings will come out in no huddle. They will run their first drive no huddle. They will run it at pace on Sunday against the Packers.
The first drive.
The first drive, they're going to come out up tempo. They're not going. They're going to run a.
So between the first and second play, you're saying no huddle.
Yes. Between the first and second play, the drive will be run. The drive will be run without huddles. They will run it essentially once the first play is done. Because they don't have a reason not to huddle for the first play, but they will come out and run it at pace, hurry up offense, 2-minute drill for the first drive.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Dex and I look. We both have some questions here. So
Yeah.
if two questions, if they huddle at all on the first drive, does this negate your prediction?
If they huddle officially, yes. If they what they call a muddle huddle, which is a very brief configuration,
Yeah.
that's not. But yes, if they get in a huddle and the play clock starts to tick, then I'm done.
What
Then
if
I'm wrong.
on the flip side, what if they huddle for the first few and then go tempo once they cross the 50 on the first drive? That does not count.
Yep. Once they run the first play into play 2, that's where, to your point, Phil, it kicks in. So yeah,
And
if
it has
they
to
huddle,
stay in. It has to stay in.
Yes.
So they get to the red zone and now they start to huddle. You're wrong.
that takes away in the entire purpose of what I want. I don't want him thinking.
Okay.
I want him to
Write this
start.
down.
I want him to start like he ended on Sunday, and to see if I can get him into a comfortable, confidence-laden rhythm, and that's what I'm going for here. So yeah, if they go hurry up like once or twice and then don't, then I'm wrong.
Okay.
Fair?
Dex?
Write this down.
Yeah,
very
it's
fair.
it's bold. I mean, it's a bold.
very
It's
bold.
it's definitely a touchdown if it happens. It's a bold prediction.
Okay.
I also feel like the scripted plays are and the first drive is where he's gonna classic old KOC sticking to his
Yeah,
gun.
no.
Ain't gonna change anything with that.
We got to mix things up here. You're right. You're 100% right. But I mean, I am looking for change. I am looking for comfort. I am tailoring things not towards Kevin O'Connell, but rather towards 9. I want 9 to come out.
Judd Zolgad political. I am looking for change. That is the
I'm looking for
slogan
a
here.
man
I am
of
looking for
change.
change.
A man of change at the
That's awesome.
quarterback position.
You got to do that thing where you clench your hand in a fist with your thumb peeking out and talk like a politician passionately. Yes.
I talk
change.
slow with my hands.
I don't think they put it between the index finger. It's like on top.
It's up.
You were kind of doing
that, that would. Okay,
I'm such
I
a
digress.
hand talker. I already checked that box. I'm very animated when I speak, so I already have that going for me. But in terms
Nothing wrong
of
with that.
policies, I have a
Crazy hands.
long way
Write
to
this
go.
down.
Long way to go. You know what? So because Joel sniped me, and now Judd has inspired me, write this down. The Vikings will run no huddle at some point against the Packers, but in plus territory. So in the Packers territory, they will run no huddle at some point throughout the game. Could be in the first drive, could be sometime later, but they will run no huddle at some point in plus territory.
It's pretty likely, like in a 2-minute drill at the end of the first
Yeah,
half.
I kind of want to and I kind of want to quantify that with like without the clock. So like same thing. I want them to go tempo, but not because of the clock situation. So
Let's say then. So outside. Well, yeah.
outside of
Okay, so
Outside
Yeah.
of 3 minutes. How about outside of
Sure.
3 minutes of the half?
sure.
And it's up to you if you wanted to quantify it more in the second half, because if they're down by like 17 points with 8
Yeah.
minutes left, they're going to be running tempo.
Yeah.
Up to you
How
if
about
you want
this?
to put.
I want to put parentheses. We'll know when we see it. We'll know when we see it.
Okay.
Okay? We'll know when we
That's
see it. Yeah.
The debate's going to be strong when they're down by.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When they're down by 10 points, like late in the third, it's like, well, you don't have to be running no huddle right now, but
Lawyer Chase is on retainer. He's ready to rock. He's ready
know
to
it when
defend
you
this
see it.
case.
okay.
Famous last words.
Okay, I was gonna originally say that JJ McCarthy would do a Lambeau leap, but I don't.
Ooh.
I feel like
That'd be bold.
I don't
That
think
would
he's
be
going. I think there's been too many injury things. Like it's too risky. I'll just say that at some point a Viking will do a Lambeau leap. A Viking will do a Lambeau leap in a trolley fashion off the record.
Aaron Jones did last year, right?
He did last year.
Yep. So I could see a repeat Aaron Jones. I could see. I don't think Jefferson would do it. I don't think Addison. I could see Naylor trying to do it. I could see Jordan Mason, a defensive player, if there's like a pick six or something. Byron Murphy.
Smoot.
Fred Smoot entering the game in his retired state. Or did he try to do a Lambeau leap and they shoved him out a long time ago? Is that what you're talking about?
He did it. In 2006, in that awful Thursday night game, he picked off a pass. He scored the Vikings' only touchdown that night. He did the leap, and they drenched him in beer. It was glorious.
That's great. That's what I feel like. If you're a Packer fan, like your obligation is you have to drench the opposing player in beer. Okay, back to Joel for your second prediction.
Write this down.
All right. This one feels like it's about to happen, and it hasn't happened, and it's going to boil over here. So write this down. The Vikings will either score and or give up a special teams touchdown between now and the end of the season. There have been so many times that, I mean, you guys have talked a lot about it this week. The Viking special teams has been faulty on kick and punt returns. And Miles Price has also shown burst too, and I'm a fan of that kid. But feels like this is just coming at some point.
It has been percolating. It's definitely been percolating.
I agree with that.
Okay, Judd.
I agree with that.
Write that down.
Back to you.
Okay, as simple as it gets. The Vikings will have an interception on Sunday. They've gone 4 games without one. So, like, it's not a given. A year ago, this would probably be a protested pick. Like, that's too easy. You got to have something a little bit, add some sauce to it. This season, they can't get a damn pick. So they will get at least one pick off of the Packer quarterback, Jordan Love, and or his backup if he gets hurt. But they will get at least one INT on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay.
Write this down.
They're due, man. They're near the bottom of the league in takeaway percentage, like percentage of drives, and most of what they do have is in that Bengals game. If you take that away, I think they're one of the 2 or 3 worst takeaway rate teams in the NFL after kind of living off of that for
Write this down.
a couple of years there. All right, Dex.
All right, write this down. Miles Price will have a touch on offense of 10-plus yards at some point in the next 4 games. There'll be a Miles Price play
Sniper.
drawn up. Did I snipe you?
Me. Mine
Nice.
was going to be Miles Price will have an offensive touch at some point. You went even further than I did. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm quantifying the next 4 games. So the Packers, Seahawks, Commanders, Cowboys game, they'll drop a nice little Miles Price like play. Write it down.
Yeah, I feel like because KO can be he's very stubborn with, and to this point he has not deemed Miles Price an offensive weapon. But I think it would have to be an injury that kind of all right, next man up. Because even Adam Thielen is ahead of Miles Price on the depth chart right now. But
Write this down.
yeah, I do think the Vikings defense is going to fluster Jordan Love, and so I will say the Vikings defense. I'm going to do like a combination of turnovers and sacks here. The Vikings defense will force at least 5 sacks and or interceptions and or fumbles of Jordan Love. The fumble doesn't have to be recovered by the Vikings. I'm looking for the process here. So if they hit 5 combined sacks, interceptions, or fumbles of Jordan Love, then I get this. 5 or more.
Okay.
Sure.
A strip sack would count for 2 and 1. Be great.
But if you just got 5 sacks, no picks, no fumbles, this would still count too.
Yep. If it was just 5 fumbles.
Yeah, 5 fumbles.
If Jordan Love himself fumbled 5 times, I get this point.
So you're counting on chaos, is what you're telling us.
Yes, I think there's going to be chaos.
Write this
Just
down.
chaos at Lambeau.
Yep, 100%. All right, chaos in St. Cloud. Joel, what's your final prediction?
All right, I'm going back to the team the Vikings just played last weekend. So write this one down. The Chicago Bears will make the playoffs this season and lose in the first round. Feels like they're destined that way. They've kind of got shades of the 2022 Vikings, but less extreme. They're 7-3 with a -6 point differential. That season, the Vikings went 14-3 with a point differential of -3. Both teams had a first-year head coach, and the Bears are almost being outgained in yards as well. So feels like something's got to give.
Love it. Love where Joel's head's at here on the show. Joel, since you have this life-altering platform, once again, is there anyone you'd like to shout out or thank in your life that helped you get here today, besides, your St. Cloud comrade, Dex?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my girlfriend, Allie, for listening to me talk about sports. She hates football, but she listens to me talk about it all the time. And I'd like to thank you guys for the content you put out and keeping us entertained 365 days a year. And yeah, Declan for building St. Cloud State too, I guess. So keeping it relevant.
Love it, man. Joel, thank you for coming on. Thanks for the kind words, and good luck with your predictions. We'll see you again sometime.
For sure. Thank you, guys.
All right. Joel making his return here. We are making our return before we get to our final predictions, our quarterback cesspool challenge. We're making our return with another Purple Daily Unplugged event, and it's going to happen tomorrow night. Open to the public at Buffalo Wild Wings in Roseville. We'll be there around 6 o'clock with the Unplugged podcast starting around 6:30, and then after that, we'll probably hang around for a little bit, watch the first part of Thursday Night Football for sure. I believe our guy Thor Nystrom is going to be in the house tomorrow as well, hanging out. So it should be a good time at B-Dubs in Roseville tomorrow night, where they'll be slinging buy one, get one specials on boneless wings, $4 Coors Lights, $4 Miller Lights, and we're giving away 5 Pepsi tailgate kits as well. So join us. We'd love to talk some Vikings with you, commiserate however you'd like at Buffalo Wild Wings in Roseville tomorrow. Speaking of Pepsi, so these Justin Jefferson souvenir cups right here are available for you at US Bank Stadium for home games. Inside Buffalo Wild Wings, including tomorrow night, when you get 10 wings of any kind and also a Pepsi. And then Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh locations also have these Pepsi souvenir cups. There's a QR code on the side. You can scan it and enter to win Victor's Ride, a Polaris Ranger 1000. Supplies are limited, so make sure you head to your nearest Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh, Buffalo Wild Wings, or the stadium and get your Justin Jefferson Pepsi cups. Pepsi, the official beverage of the Minnesota Vikings. Our last event was at Mystic Lake, the Hop House a few weeks ago. Highly recommend that place, Chad.
Absolutely. And guess what here, folks? Sports Dad is here to give you an idea for next Wednesday night, Thanksgiving Eve. It's a great night, right? But let's say that you don't have plans yet, or let's say that you were going to make plans, but you put it off, and now it's getting within a week of that time. Well, have I got an idea for you? Because on Thanksgiving Eve at Hop House, live music from 10 p.m. to midnight, all those great vibes going into the holiday. Then the next day, Hop House is going to open early with a special Thanksgiving menu. It's the perfect spot to catch all the Thanksgiving Day games, grab a bite, kick back with family and friends. And in fact, this also combines with Hop House and the gorgeous hotel at Mystic Lake as well. So you stay on Wednesday, you have a great time, you eat on Thursday like a king. Have a Sports Day got ideas or what, huh? So if you've been putting plans off, I'm telling you right now, you can have plans and say they were yours. Don't give me credit. I don't need it. Hop House, perfect place to go, Mystic Lake.
On your gravestone, Judd Zolgad, Mr. Fix-It and Ideas Guy. You're an Ideas Guy.
I don't need credit, though. I don't need credit.
Don't give me credit, yeah.
It's like if KO were to run the ball a ton. I don't need him to say, Judd Zolgad,
do the right
Sports
thing.
Dad. You're exactly right. That's why I'm Sports Dad. Because I just want you to do the right thing.
The right thing would be, if you're looking for a little whiskey this time of year, would be Pendleton Whiskey. Whiskey. Pendleton Whiskey is a proud partner of the Minnesota Vikings and us here on Purple Daily. They just had, from what I saw based on videos and pictures, I wasn't able to attend it, but the Friendsgiving event between Bears and Vikings fans on the plaza before the game on Sunday went over really well. So, it's not just poured, it's earned at Pendleton Whiskey. Smooth enough to sip after a win, bold enough to remind you of the work it took to get there. Crafted with grit and bottled for those who fight hard for their reward. And you can get your hands on these 10-year stadium anniversary bottles the 2025 limited Vikings edition of Pendleton Whiskey. So go into your liquor store, and if they don't have it, you shame them into getting Pendleton Whiskey and these limited edition bottles here. Pendleton Whiskey, 2025 Pendleton Distillers, ProximoSpirits.com. Please drink responsibly. All right, gentlemen.
Write this down.
Back to Judd for your final prediction.
At least 2 of the Vikings coordinators won't be back next season. At least 2 of the Vikings coordinators will not be back next season. Take note, I am not saying they're fired. No, I'm not saying that. So, to be very clear, Brian Flores' contract is up. He could leave. Wes Phillips could be dismissed if Josh McCown is going to take a job elsewhere and they say, hold on a second, we will make you the OC. Perhaps we could talk to you about play calling as well. But anyway, I think 2 will be gone.
Interesting. The Vikings have actually, outside of the penalties on special teams, the Vikings have cleaned up. So remember, we went over those expected points added numbers from the early part of KOC's tenure. They've cleaned a lot of that up in terms of just process for special teams. The Flores thing's interesting because, his contract is up. He's going to be looking for a head coaching job, which I believe he does deserve another shot as a head coach. And there should be some teams out there that at least give him a sniff. It depends on that lawsuit to some extent. But he did get a finalist look with the Cardinals a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And then the offensive coordinator thing, that's the one that it's been the same setup for 4 years, right? Wes Phillips has been here for all 4 years.
He's
and if they
buddy.
feel like we need someone that can put their eyes on a run game or whatever,
right?
Maybe they do make a change there, or if they want a play caller, if his ego would allow for a new play caller,
which I don't think it would. But I mean, I got to think that when they meet after the season, at least for a while, everything at this rate, everything has to be on the table, right?
Yeah, at this rate, there's also still what's kind of crazy is. Obviously, from a playoff perspective, the season is pretty much over. What's there like a 3 or 4% chance they make the playoffs?
Yeah.
I don't think in that room they're thinking, because they think they're a good team and you're a football player, you're a coach, you're going to keep going. But from the outside, the season's pretty much over from a playoff perspective. Yet there's still almost half a season left to play.
Yeah.
They've played 10. There's 7 games left. There's so many things and twists and turns that could happen. With McCarthy, with other key players and figures.
Amen.
So I think we'll have a better feel for it once we get closer to the end of December. But Dex, what's your next prediction?
Yeah, write this down. Little spoiler for Saturday already, and maybe I'm locking this in early because it could definitely still swing a little bit. Right now, the Vikings are 6.5-point dogs in Green Bay. I think the Vikings cover that. So write it down. The Vikings covered the 6.5 against Green Bay.
Okay. Were they? So the Packers were 7.5 favorites on the road against the Giants, or 7.5, and then they were. So they're kind of touchdown favorites over these. I don't think, in terms of roster, I don't think there's a touchdown difference between the Packers and the Vikings, but maybe the quarterback play is just such a wild variable.
That's probably a big reason.
Division game, it's a big number.
Yeah,
it's a really big number.
Write this down.
I'm going to go long term on this one here. I kind of floated this on the State of the Vikings yesterday, but I think Blake Brandel has been really good the last few weeks. And Booney showed us some film too of that final drive, and he looks so much more settled and comfortable. Whether you believe in PFF's methods or not, it's the only credible platform that's grading individual offensive lineman performances for fans and media to see. And they love him in pass protection the last few weeks especially. He's only given up 3 pressures in the last 3 games.
Yeah.
And I think right now, I think he is among all centers, the 13th or 15th highest graded center of the 40 or so that are qualified. So my prediction is Blake Brandel will be a week 1 starter for the Minnesota Vikings in 2026. Off the record, I believe he's the starting center for next year. But I'm going to leave some room for something weird or crazy to happen, or an injury, and he winds up sliding to guard. I'm going to say week 1 starter in 2026.
Okay. Are there how can I put this? Are there any spies who are whispering in your ear about this?
I promise no.
Okay.
No.
I mean, I
And,
wouldn't.
but
I
even
wouldn't
if those
fault you if there were.
Well, I do have spies
just curious.
named Alex and Jeremiah that love the way he's been playing the last few weeks. But even if I did have spies, no one can really predict what's going to happen the next 7 weeks or the off season. So,
Sure.
There's a lot of hurdles. So Blake is under contract for $4.1 million cap hit next year. I think his dead money is only like maybe $700,000. So if you cut him, you could save $3.5 million to your cap. But then Ryan Kelly ain't coming back, and they're going to try and clear his money off the books on that. I would be shocked if Ryan Kelly comes back.
If that dude's a starter, he's a bargain. If Blake's a starter, he's a bargain.
Yeah. So I feel like my guess is Ryan Kelly comes back before the end of the season because they started his 21-day clock or whatever. And maybe he finishes it out. But would you be, let's say Ryan Kelly does finish out the season. Would you not be surprised based on his concussions?
Yeah.
And also based on, they can save quite a bit of money by cutting him.
No, I don't think he's back.
And if that's the case, okay, well, internally, your options are Michael Juergens, who's still really raw, really green.
Yeah. No.
And Blake Brandel, or you could draft a rookie and start him right away, or go get one in free agency, but you don't have any money to spend in free agency.
Well,
are you going to get a guy better than Blake Brandel's been playing the last few weeks? That's where my logic has taken me.
And the other part of this equation that I think is important too is you've got a lot of needs. So like your draft, you need picks to hit. Unfortunately, you need it. So if it's 10 picks, a percentage that's much higher than 10% need to hit. If you have a guy that can start at center, do you want to draft a center in the third round? Because there's a case to be made that, and it's incredible pressure, but there's a case to be made that you want to get starters for 2026 in the first 3 rounds, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, ideally. It sucks having to go into a draft with that mindset of we need immediate. I think if you go into a draft needing immediate plug and play starters,
it's a problem. I agree.
It's really tough.
Agree. But if you think of it like this can you draft good players finally?
Well, yeah.
That's sort of dumbing it down for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could make a case. The state of their offensive line is in a pretty good spot right now.
Yes.
And I think Darrisaw has not been the full version of Darrisaw because he's been kind of stop and start at practice coming off the knee injury and, quite frankly, in games. But I think giving another year past the surgery into next year, he's in his prime. I think he goes back to being a top 5 left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan Jackson has been largely really good and showing a lot of great signs.
Mm-hmm.
Will Fries is probably the big disappointment of the group. Just you paid so much money. You also overpaid to fix a problem that you just haven't been able to fix.
Right.
But I don't think he's been a disaster.
Right. He's not a bad player at all. Exactly right. Exactly right. I think your biggest question mark, if Brandel does start at center next season, I think your biggest question mark for the next couple of years is probably Brian O'Neill, just as far as his age and is there a decline there? I think Darrisaw is going to come back like a ball of fire next season. I think he's going to be a year plus out. I think he's going to come back and be a Pro Bowl player next season, which shockingly will be his first Pro Bowl.
Yeah. Do you want to? So we've done, Dex, when you were out in the middle of the week for paternity leave, what we had been doing, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 times, is I would show you guys a play from the Boone episode. I'd love to show you just kind of I want to show you something from the final drive, a protection.
Sure.
I have to kill this real quick here. But right now, while I bring this up here, 2 questions for you. On Thursday tomorrow, should we do our first 2026 Vikings mock because the season essentially ended with that loss last weekend? That's part 1. And part 2, if you had to, without knowing the position strengths in college necessarily, if you had to draft a position right now and make a decision, first round, ideally, what would that position be?
I told you before, it's so muddy because there's so many areas. Actually, this might sound weird, but you know what? So I'm not going to say QB. So just for now, let's shelf that because it's a hot button topic. I'm going to say I'm going to go back to the defensive tackle.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to if there is a stud, if I had my choices, like let's just say BPA, all right, first round,
BPA.
BPA. I'm going to go defensive tackle.
It's a T-shirt.
But if the BPA is a corner, I'll take the corner. Like
Yeah.
those are my two places.
I'm kind of with you on the game-wrecking interior defensive lineman or the guy who can cover one-on-one on an island cornerback would be ideal. Ideal. Especially like if you could draft a defensive tackle that was a day one starter next to Jalen Redmond and Levi Drake Rodriguez, and you could say goodbye to at least one of those contracts, the Javon Hargrave or Jonathan Allen contracts, and it'd be ideal. Let me pop this up here for you guys. I'll go full screen.
Okay.
So this is the final drive, and again, this is tempo. This drive is pretty close to the best McCarthy has looked all season. I would argue too, it's about as good as the offensive line protection has looked all year. And when you get past the 50-yard line, so before the 50-yard line, there was a couple handoffs to Aaron Jones. They trust Aaron Jones in the 2-minute, the must pass. But when it really came down to it, and the Bears were unleashing pressure on this final drive, they were blitzing. They were trying to fluster McCarthy, who has not been great against the blitz. And Kevin O'Connell said, this is a ham-bone situation here. Let's get CJ. CJ Ham was in for most of the snaps once they crossed the 50 because he is their best blitz pickup, pass protection back on the roster.
Yep.
But I'll show you this play from a couple different angles here. The Bears are running. As you see, the Bears they're doing the Flores thing here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys along the line of scrimmage, all showing something, trying to confuse JJ McCarthy, right? Mm-hmm. And if you want like a way better version of this breakdown and like 40 minutes of it, the Trenches with Boone film breakdowns every single week on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Awesome. We went live last night. It was festive. So I'm going to run this. You'll see not all 7 of these guys come, I don't think, if I remember right. A couple guys bail, but they send 6. The Bears sent 6, and look how clean that pocket is. That's a dart to Jalen Naylor in the red zone, and you'll get a better angle here from the backside view from the end zone. Particularly, keep an eye on Donovan Jackson, number 74 here. It happens quickly. I'm going to slow this down. So the Bears are running a little twist here. I believe this is 94 on the inside. 99 is going to try to get into Christian Darrisaw. 99 on the Bears is essentially blocking Christian Darrisaw to open up a hole for 94 to come through on a twist here. And the guy that has to stop it from happening is rookie Donovan Jackson. So I'm going to slow this down. Watch 74 on this play. Pushes 99 into Darrisaw, comes around and cleans up that twist like a 10-year veteran. It's a great sign. Again, the Bears are they're flashing 7. 7 guys take a step forward here. And so the offensive protection has to account for 7 guys taking a step forward, and McCarthy, by the way.
Right.
But he calmly drops back, tons of space, surveys, perfectly thrown pass, setting the Vikings up in the red zone. But the protection here is what gives him the comfortability and the time to make this happen. So, and this is subtle, but Donovan Jackson, his first job is to usher 99 into Christian Darrisaw. Here, buddy, let me give 99 to you because I need to break free of 99 and pick up 94 coming around the inside edge on this twist.
Nice.
Bam. Twist picked up.
That's a hell of a play. Yeah, that's great.
And then, oh, by the way, our guy Blake Brandel, so watch him on this play. So obviously 44 is covering him straight up. If 44 takes a step forward at all, even if he doesn't, like he's right up in the grill of Blake Brandel here. You have to assume that 44 is coming. So like no matter what, the first part of this pass protection for Blake Brandel is to account for number 44. If 44 bails, which he kind of does like after a step or two, then it's Blake Brandel's job to look for work somewhere else. So keep an eye on this. Credit to Donovan Jackson for picking up this twist, but watch Blake Brandel come in here and deliver a little shoulder pad to the rib cage to finish it off. It's great protection. Okay, boom. He disengages. Boom, boom.
Oh yeah, double.
I mean, he basically touches on 3 different players all within like 3 seconds there, Blake Brandel, to open it up. So
that's a hell of a play.
And then I guess since we're here, we might as well take one last peek at the game-winning dagger here. I'll play it for you in half speed.
Okay.
McCarthy just looks comfortable in these spots too. Just casually motions a guy over. Come on over here. All right. Look at that protection. Look at that protection.
Sling it.
Bang.
Boy, that's interesting.
Game over. Game over, right? No need to see anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, go back for a second though, because I wanna talk about McCarthy on this play, okay? Play this through until he throws the ball, and then I want to point something out that I think is an interesting thing that he has mechanically. Okay, stop it there. You know what's interesting is, and I think this is the hands eye and the feet and eyes thing, right? Like there's a nice throw, and he's got a dart for an arm. But it's interesting how that leg. I'd love to go back and watch other quarterbacks' film to see how their legs kick up. Like he's got sort of like
pitcher, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean that's so interesting because I don't recall thinking that that's the norm for quarterbacks. Like look at where that leg is early, and I mean then appreciate the throw because the throw is a freaking dart.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. But I do think not having time to really process this and having to just do it. And then to your point, Phil, getting this protection is huge.
Yeah. This is, I just want to say, like, we've been waiting for the Vikings offensive line to be healthy enough and to gel. And you got a rookie at left guard and a new center. And against the Bears, anyways, it was gelling. The mechanical stuff for McCarthy is going to be an ongoing process. But if you get protection like this throughout the game, it makes it even more glaring when you miss open targets because, like, dude, you're not going to get pockets like this. I love it, and they leave their, they're sliding right here, but they're okay. Brian O'Neill, you got your one-on-one. Darisaw over here. We trust you guys, and then Will Fries and Blake Brandel. It's gonna be a 3-on-2 essentially on the right sideline.
Yep.
And that's just a bang, just kind of a little back shoulder there to Jordan Addison. So. Now, obviously, if we showed you the first 2 hours and 50 minutes of that game, I would argue the protections aren't terrible. The run game's not terrible. It's the quarterback that needs to be more consistent.
It would be fun to take one of the many drives on Sunday that didn't work and juxtapose it from a film standpoint against that drive. Like more so for McCarthy, because I think the protections are probably fine. But yeah, like just to see there's
his
clearly
mechanics basically, right? I mean,
the mechanics and being sped up and having too much on his plate potentially. I think pre-snap, and O'Connell talked about this, I forget if it was on KFXN or his press conference, but I think pre-snap, he's fine. Like I don't think he's overloaded mentally. He's a smart dude. I think he can mentally play the position. But it's when the ball is snapped, right? And so those are the things where he starts to get too excited or the mechanics break down. But it would be fun to take that drive against a drive that didn't work and see if there's like subtle differences in what he's trying to do or end up doing.
To me, there's enough good in the first 5 games. The final drives against the Bears in both situations, some of the stuff against the Lions that as bad as the bad has been, I do think people are way overlooking how good the good is, especially when you go back and kind of look at it from a play-by-play standpoint. Watching that with Boone last night, I know it's only one drive out of the other drives were a disaster. It's like, whoa, there's so much good on that drive.
Right.
Can you extrapolate more of it? So, yeah, Dex, go ahead, finish off the point. And we'll get to.
I was going to say, as one clickbait guy to another, Dan Orlovsky, okay, tweets out Tuesday morning. Got a handle on why McCarthy has some egregious misses. Space NFL Live, all caps. I sit down, appointment viewing, hour-long episode. Not expecting this to be the lead because it's a Vikings team that's 4-6. Waiting. They keep teasing out a break. We're going to talk about this when we come back. We're going to talk about this when we come back. Hour goes by. They switch to SportsCenter. Not a single mention of JJ.
They didn't talk about it at all?
They didn't talk about it at all. Didn't talk about it at all.
Dude,
Dan.
Danny. Now, I know Dan's
Dan.
not producing the show,
It's the
so maybe it
producers.
got cut. Yeah.
The producers did.
It probably did.
And Dan's not allowed
probably
to do
did.
film
That's-
breakdowns on Twitter anymore, apparently, because the NFL cracked
Come on.
down
But-
on, like...
But Declan's right. I did the same exact thing. 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, I carved out space. The dogs and I sat down on the couch. The dogs are like, "Yeah, let's go." I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." An hour. He's right. And plus, so I think the theme of the day is like, what, Dex? What's gone wrong with teams or something? So like they were highlighting.
Yeah.
So it's like perfect. I'm like, okay, the Vikings are 100% in this at some point. They're going to break down McCarthy.
He's got to unveil it, if not
Come on
on
now.
the internet, maybe today on NFL Live. I'm curious too, because he's a smart quarterback guy. So, hey, speaking of dogs, well, we'll get to our quarterback cesspool challenge in a moment here, but it's Give to the Max week, and so thank you. You guys helped us raise $1,000 yesterday. A great start to the week here. We're looking to raise at least $3,000 for the Bond Between, which is formerly Secondhand Hounds. They have rescued over 30,000 dogs and cats. They build programs that help keep people with their pets. They partner with local communities to bring the joy of animals to everyone. We are all huge animal lovers on this show. And so if you have $5, $50, or someone donated $500 as well, thank you so much. ScoreNorth.com/donate as part of Give to the Max week. ScoreNorth.com/donate. And Nutrisource is going to match $3,000 if we can get to $3,000. So thank you. And by the way, 10 random people who donate any amount are going to get a signed Judd's Camp Notes reporter's notebook. That's right.
Wow.
A
I had
custom
to sign those today.
notebook. Wet signatures from Judd Zolgad. ScoreNorth.com/donate. 2 Men in a Truck also powering today's quarterback cesspool challenge, Dex.
Yeah, hire the experts at 2 Men in a Truck. I've used them. Phil has used them. It's one of the more stressful things you can obviously do, and they're professionals. They have different size trucks. They have different amount of crews that can come out to help expedite that move and make it a seamless process. What they quote is what you pay. There's no weird hidden fees and service charges by the end of your bill. It's exactly what it says it's going to be. And they'll send you over a spreadsheet. What needs to be moved out of this house? So they want to simplify that moving process for you. Go contact 2 Men in a Truck. It's cold out there too, right? Like, you don't want to be doing that stuff. Let the experts be doing it. So go to 2meninatruck.com and tell them that Purple Daily sent you.
I've got the Prize Picks app open right now, too. Already looking ahead to Week 12 in the National Football League. Prize Picks, where you can win real money this football season. You select between 2 and 6 players. It takes less than 60 seconds if you wanted to. You could also put an hour of thought into it. It's totally up to you. Justin Jefferson, 69.5 receiving yards right now.
Nice.
Which is kind of a low number generally, but lately, I don't know. You have to decide you want to take more or less on that, and you place your entries. Download that Prize Picks app today. Use the code PURPLEDAILY. Get $50 in lineups when you play just $5. That's code PURPLEDAILY on the Prize Picks app. $50 in lineups when you play $5, and you can help grow the show here too, and keep Prize Picks happy with Purple Daily when you use that code. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right.
Everybody hold your water.
Hold your water. Time for the quarterback cesspool challenge, where we go looking for bad quarterback play in the NFL each week. We celebrate bad quarterback play. Each member of the show selects a quarterback that we think is going to play like crap. Once you select that quarterback, you can't use him again the rest of the season. It's like a bad quarterback survivor pool. The scoring is quite simply ESPN's QBR on a 0 to 100 scale. And boy, last week, the Cleveland Browns had a monopoly on the quarterback cesspool challenge. So the worst quarterback in the league was Shadur Sanders, 2.4 QBR.
Wow.
I had Dylan Gabriel for the weekly win at an 11.4 QBR. Dex had Bo Nix, which, you know what? Bo Nix has been pretty darn good. So to get him for a below-average QBR is going to help you over the season, 43.2. Judd went with Justin Fields. Kind of got burned a little, 54.1 QBR from Justin Fields.
That's a bunch of crap. I'm not happy about that.
So I'll take the weekly W, my 7th of the season. You guys each have 2. But the season aggregate is very close. I'm at 39.6. Again, low is good. 42.5 for Judd, and 46.5 for Declan. So it's still anyone's game here in the quarterback cesspool challenge. We'll go in reverse order of last week's standings. So Judd, you get the first pick this week. Dex gets the second pick. I get the third. I'll pop up all the quarterbacks we've used since week 1 for the YouTube audience to see on their screen here.
All right, so this might seem more risky than you think, because Shedeur Sanders, it sounds like it's going to start for Cleveland if your guy from last week, Dylan Gabriel, doesn't clear the concussion protocol. But I've used Gabriel against the Vikings, so I can't. Yeah. If I use him, I'm burned.
Yeah, you get stuck with a 75 QBR if that happens.
FYI, I'm going to help you out here.
Okay.
Literally breaking news 5 seconds ago. Shedeur Sanders is starting.
Okay. Thank you very much, Declan. I appreciate that. That made my day.
I thought about not telling you, but I'm gonna.
That would have been
honorable. I'm kind of shocked. I didn't think Dex had that in him right there.
Honorable, but also like you almost purposely. Boy, that would have hurt a lot. But anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, I know you would have done the same thing for me, right?
0 chance.
I would have told you for sure. I would have told you. Yeah, I would have. Shedeur Sanders. Give me Shedeur Sanders.
Okay.
Who not only had the worst QBR in the entire league, but his house got broken into during the course of the game, and he lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it sounds like he thinks he might have left his door unlocked.
Jeez, I don't know that would have stopped someone. If you've made it up to Shedeur Sanders' front door, it's locked.
Well, I think it was a side door, and it made it a lot. But I mean, can you imagine? You're like, should I do this? I could get in a lot of trouble. I'm probably on camera right now. Well, okay, I'm just going to try to open the door.
Let's see if it's locked or not. Yeah.
Okay, God wants me to rob this place.
All right, Dex, you're next up on the clock here.
All right, so I'm going to continue to take the guy who I think is turning into a pumpkin after a hot start. Give me Daniel Jones in Kansas City against the Chiefs.
Wow.
Last 2 QBRs for Danny Dimes. 28.2, 14.2s, taken 15 sacks, 6 fumbles, 4 interceptions. He's going against Spags in Kansas City.
Oh, Spags.
I'm riding the Daniel Jones regression. So give me Danny Dimes in KC against Spags.
Wow. Oh, so there's so many other options here. You might expect one of us to take JJ McCarthy at the Packers, which should be a tough matchup.
I can't.
You've already taken him.
I already took him against Detroit and got burned.
I don't have the heart, and there will be other opportunities to take JJ McCarthy. I have not used Geno Smith yet, and he's playing the Browns and Myles Garrett. So that's an option.
Kirk, but he's starting against the Saints, so he actually might have a decent day.
Yeah, well, that's the third one I was going to get to is Kirk at the Saints.
Yeah.
And of course the audience well, clearly Mackey is going to pick the Kirk hater. I think the right answer here is Geno Smith at Myles Garrett or versus Myles Garrett. I'm gonna go. It's pretty rare you get like an old bad quarterback against a guy hunting for the NFL sack record. So
true that.
I'll take. Well, Brett Favre was pretty bad in 2001 when Michael Strahan was hunting for the sack record, but I'm gonna go Geno Smith. Geno Smith against the Browns.
All right.
So there you have it. There's the.
Justin Fields burned me. He got benched too, right? He's been benched again, right?
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor.
So I get a 54. I get screwed completely.
Yeah.
And he's still bad enough. You know, if you're bad enough to be benched, your QBR should be refigured to involve the benching.
I would argue that the last 3 weeks, you've run into a really bad string of luck. Justin Fields, 54.1. Marcus Mariota, 82.8. And then JJ McCarthy, 54.5. I think you picked him on his best week. So it's been a rough one for.
I won it last year, and I feel like the cesspool gods are getting me this year.
Yeah. All right, that's the Wednesday show here. The predictions, the accountabilities, the quarterback cesspools, even a little film breakdown. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. As we just hit 60,000 subs last month. Our next milestone, 70,000 subscribers. Maybe we can get there by the draft or something. But click that subscribe button. This is the best Vikings fan community on YouTube, on the internet. At least we believe so. You guys make it that way. So appreciate you, even when the Vikings are playing like garbage, sticking with us here every day on Purple Daily, where we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. See ya.